made in the last few quarters. We have Yugal Sikri, the man, the architect of that turnaround, who's joining us now. Yugal, good afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. We just saw your latest presentation on the exchanges, strong numbers and new engines of growth contributing. But one quick word I want to understand from you as an industry veteran and observer. On the one hand, India healthcare system is evolving from just pharma, diagnostics, hospitals, all of them are being seen in serious light. Indian pharma companies focused on domestic business are showing good growth. Overseas also things have turned around and rebound from regulatory glare, etc. One fear is keeping a lot of investors and participants nervous that if indeed US elections witnesses Mr. Trump coming back, or in general the fear is that US may become much more stricter towards large dependence on Indian pharma or healthcare imports. Is that could that harm the business prospects of Indian companies or their sector? Is that a legitimate concern out there?
Thank you so much. I must thank you for inviting me on your channel. And on to a specific question, I think we need to look at from overall perspective. The dependence of US on India is so very, very strong. Whichever be the regime, whichever be the administration, I think the dependence on India is there and will continue to be there. We all know that every third American consumes generics produced by India. Over 85% of the prescriptions written in the US are for generics, and in generics, we have the major stake to the extent that every third American consumes generic medicine. So much is the dependence on us. We have the US FDA approved plants. The biggest number after US, the biggest number exists in India. So net, whatever be the administration, whoever be the administration, new regime, dependence on India will continue, and India will continue to play, therefore, an important role. US will continue to be important for us as much as India is continuing to be important for US.
Sure. So the interdependence will really continue. That's the good news. But Mr. Sikri, I wanted to put the spotlight on the India business because you did talk about how two of the brands are likely to hit that 100 crore club, and that's what the aim is. Could you talk to me about whether this aspiration is for FY25 itself, or what's the timeline that you expect these two drugs to hit the 100 crore club? And any other brand which is likely to get into that 100 crore club as well?
Thank you for asking me that question. In fact, to your viewers and you, I just wanted to give a little fresh perspective. And that perspective is that RPG Life Sciences is 67% is domestic and remaining 18% is international formulations and 15% is API. There are some bold moves which we are working internally within RPG Life Sciences. And the brand which you just talked about, Neprosin, is a brand which was 18 crore 5 years earlier. Today, it is close to about 73, 74 crore. We are heading towards 100 crore. But this is the brand which will eventually be a 500 crore brand. It's a painkiller, one. Number two, it is first need to move to a 100 crore plus trajectory, which we are going to achieve very shortly, which is only prescription route. The next phase is OTX route, and the third phase is OTC. By the time it reaches OTC, this brand is expected to become 500 crore. Of course, our first milestone is 100 crore, which we were talking about so far. Second, which you talked about, is there any other product? Yes, there are a couple of other products of similar profile, which we are working through a very diligent, very professional life cycle management strategy, which we can take forward. But one portfolio which I like to talk about, where we were around 23, 24 crore about 5 years back, it was only one molecule. Today, we are talking about from a small product to a large product portfolio, which comprises of 4 molecules, 15, 16 variants, various kinds of the customer segments, which is also slated to become a 100 crore portfolio from a 24 crore portfolio. Progress so far is 70 crore plus. First milestone 100 crore, and that portfolio also we see moving towards 200 crore in the build-up of brands as well as portfolio. Just to exemplify two, which I just mentioned to you.
Well, let's break it down a bit. You're hitting 100 crore but have sights set for 500 crore. How much time horizon are we talking about here? A, and part B, the other brands which are still in nascent stage, how much time could these actually take to come to a meaningful level of say 100 crore, which you're talking about?
Yeah, I think it's again a very interesting question, particularly in pharmaceuticals. The build-up is slow. Build-up is slow in the sense that it is through prescription. As long as we're in the prescription, the build-up is slow. Just to share with you, average size of a new product in the first year of launch in pharmaceutical industry is less than 1 crore. That's the kind of the competitiveness in the market. What we are looking at our end is, I think the situation is different. We have been able to reach from 18 crore to 74 crore in the last 3.5, 4 years. And we are expecting the 100 crore to come another 2 years, another 500 crore. We'll have a 5 to 7 year of time dimension, because we are moving from prescription to OTX to OTC. The moment we go to OTC, the dimension changes, which is what in the horizon 3 of Naproxen brand. Similar thing is for Naproxen. Similar thing is for immunosuppressant basket, which I talked about. We have Azoran. We have Azoran plus mycophenolate plus tacrolimus plus cyclosporin are the 4 molecules which have identified. 16 new variants we are developing, and all of that to take place. First 100 crore milestone in the next couple of years, and the next 100 crore, another 100 crore, which is 200 crore I'm talking about total put together, should be another 4 to 5 year dimension. So that's the time trajectory or time continuum you can assume when we are talking about brand and portfolio build-up.
Let's talk about the third engine of your growth, and that's API. That's what you have talked about. It did register just a 7% growth in FY24, a bit more measured and moderate versus the other parts of the business. What kind of growth you're expecting here?
Thanks again for asking this interesting question. In our products, in our portfolio, as I mentioned to you, we have 3 segments: domestic formulation 67%, international formulation 18%, API 17%. Now, we had so far predominantly focused on domestic formulation. Now, we are working on making international formulations and API, which you talked about, as the second and third growth engine. Talking specifically with respect to API, or even that's applicable to even international formulation, there are 2 major prerequisites, and I'm happy to share with you for those 2 prerequisites, we are already at advanced stages, which is what will accelerate the growth of API as well as international formulations. And what are those 2 prerequisites? One is we must have a plant which is modern, which is cost effective, and which is approvable by best of the regulators. I'm happy to share with you that we had a very intense capex infusion in the last 3-4 years. I'm happy to share with you that our API plant this quarter should be ready after close to about 65 crore investment of capex. And we have invited already the regulators to come and visit our plant to approve the plant. That's on the plant side. On the product pipeline side, I'm happy to share with you, we have identified close to about 9 or 10 APIs, which our R&D team is currently working. We have strengthened our scientists, and we have modernized our R&D also. And these 2 prerequisites being achieved, you can see a good trajectory on API. When is that likely? Any new product development takes about 1.5 to 2 to 3 years, and we are already in the midst of the 9 or 10 molecule which I talked about, and one can see this coming from FY27, FY26 onwards.
I was just checking out the numbers. When we first started interacting, Sikri, from that time to now, you have clocked almost 30% plus kind of a CAGR on your profitability. Very healthy margin expansion also has happened over the last 2-year period. Can you leave us with thoughts on how this growth in profitability is likely to be in the next 2-3 years? Do you see scope for further margin expansion from 17.5, 18 level to say closer to 20 level on a rising base?
Thanks again for that question. I think you ask this question every time from me. And I also share with you that our profitability or profit improvement is a structural story, which means we have worked on certain fundamentals which are helping us to retain the profit and grow the profit year after year after year after year for the past 5 years consecutively. Now, the measures are product re-engineering, measures are the yield improvement, the measures are the alternate vendor development, etc., etc. So they having happened, there's already inbuilt. Going forward, will that stop? No, we have the profit improvement or cost reduction plan ongoing, happening already. Internally, we have nicknamed this project as WWF, and that's functional basis which I can say that the profit or profitability improvement drive will continue, albeit not at a slope which has happened so far, a bit obtuse, but that will continue. What will add to this profit volume or profitability is also when top line gets added, the gross margin straight away flows to the EBITDA and the PBT and the PAT, and that will help us to improve our profit and profitability.
Sure. So profitability expected to grow at a faster clip than the revenue growth. Thanks, Mr. Sikri, for making time and speaking with us. Would have loved to chat.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.